can go to the gym, you can just look at the weights and you still say, I've gone to the gym. But it's about what you do when you're there. It's like you wanna push, you want it to be hard. That's a successful time in the gym. So I think if you approach acting or whatever you do in the same way, where your willingness and openness to do uncomfortable things and trusting that is going to allow you to grow, if you can make that shift, I think everything becomes a little bit more fun, and you can be engaged in it in a way where you're not like, it's not going my way.
Welcome to Before the Lights. If you're new here, we're a team of health professionals based in London who train people from all over the creative world to get ready for TV, film, even live shows, but most importantly, for everyday life. I'm Dave Hasty.
I'm George Ashwell.
I'm Georgia Canavan.
And I'm Josh Betteridge.
We've been lucky enough to build a pretty special group of members here at the club, so we thought it would be nice for other people to get to know some of them as well as we do.
I was like, I think I need to start going to the gym. So I literally got out my laptop, and was like, PTs for actors.
Welcome to Before the Lights podcast, guys. I'm Greg James. With me over here is Dangerous Dave, and here is Evil George. And today we're talking grind set.
Grind set?
It's not about mindset, guys. It's about grind set.
It was the very first time I met you when you came in and you actually had to run off and be sick in the toilet.
You feel quite vulnerable when you're kind of lying on your back with your legs up in the air because you feel sick. Just breathing, and I'm like, this never happens. I'm so sorry.
So sit back, only do some exercise if you want to, and maybe even learn something about how to look after yourself. Welcome back to the Before the Lights.
Welcome back.
It's been 3 recording sessions in a row now with George.
It has been. I have been here all of those.
Which for any keen listeners would know is maybe a bit unusual. And the reason being, we'll give shout out to Josh because he's just become a father.
He has just become a dad.
Whether or not he wants those who listen to this to know.
If not,
we'll find out.
It's going to be a weird introduction.
Yeah.
Just delete that part of
it. But yeah, well done, Josh. He'll be back one day for any of his fans. But for now,
he has a few.
George and I
am here.
have the pleasure of talking to Jaz Hutchins, who many people in the London creative scene will be aware of, and no doubt a big fan of you, I think. And if you've not listened before, this is the bit where we introduce. And Jaz is an actor, but he's also a prominent figure in the London creative scene, and you started a thing called GoHub.
Yeah.
Do you mind giving us a bit of a background of what that is and how that came to be?
Yeah, for sure. Now it's I think it's a bit of a wider creative community, but when it started, it was literally, I think, me and 9 of my friends getting together reading plays. I then ended up directing 2 of my friends, CJ Beckford and Tesney. I can't pronounce her surname. But
close friend,
close friend, great friend. Shout out Tesney. In a short play, then we didn't have any space, so we were going to the National Theatre and just trying to steal a little corner somewhere or a Royal Festival Hall. But some of our other friends would just come and watch the rehearsal process. So then everyone was kind of like, oh, we want to work like this. Just peer-to-peer. Iron sharpens iron was the sort of ethos and vibe of it in the beginning. So then I was like, cool, I'm going to book a room. I just booked this random room in a place called the Nursery Training Centre in London Bridge. It's tiny. It could only fit probably 10 people. And then I just started it from there. I just really winged the first kind of workshop, if you will. But again, really more just facilitating space for my peers. And then from then on it kind of just grew weekly into kind of what it is
at that stage then, was it had you been to drama school or anything
so
like that?
I hadn't gone to a traditional drama school. I went to Identity, and I loved Identity. I was there for 3 years. That at that time was my favorite place in the world. That's where I got into acting quite late. So drama school didn't feel like it was an option, one, because I hated school. I was not at school from year 9. Then I was doing a state agency, then IT recruitment, and I was very much in my own sort of journey. Quit all of that, decided to act, and Identity just felt like a really accessible place to go. So I went there, stayed there for 3 years. That was really wonderful. Started kind of chipping away at stuff at that point, doing fringe plays, etc. First agent, and then after that, I just found it really difficult to train somewhere with people that I felt were wanting the same thing as me, which is to be pushed. Essentially, I felt spaces at that time felt for aspiring actors or people who were sort of lacking knowledge or relationships. I really wanted to work with people that I knew were approaching work and life in the same way that I was, so we can help each other get better.
Do you reckon that part of it came from, you've mentioned 2 little like stints in estate agency and in recruitment, which are quite like famously dog eat dog a little bit, aren't they? It's like the pay structure in those things. I think often it's like you get paid for the stuff you sell or the people that you like position into work. So it's like
that was a brutal atmosphere as well. And I was an estate agent from when I was 17. So there used to be a guy I worked with called Noel. I fucking hated him, but I think
no shout outs for him.
No, shout out, because there was something inspiring about what he would do. But literally, they used to put your pay slip on your table. Like at the end of the month, and he would do this if someone had a bad month. Bear in mind, it's grown. I was young, but it's a lot of grown men. But like, if you had a bad month, he'd come back and be like, wait, and he'd put like a stapler on your paycheck and be like, oh, it might fly away, because it was competitive in a way that was like problematic.
Yeah, basically trying to like shame you into doing more work.
There was a lot of that.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that, but it was like quite good grounding for like work ethic and drive, because even in the estate agency, picking up the phones, there's a skill to that. You have to be
100%.
super fast,
because
everyone in an office, like that is the skill set. So that was I learned a lot doing that, and then building rapport with people from what I was doing before. Again, I got kicked out of school in year 9. To then be an estate agent at 17, now I'm sort of interacting with the world and people that really I'd never had access to at that time. So it was that was definitely a formative part of my journey before I even knew that I wanted to act.
I think it's always really important finding out those little bits of people's backstory, because it can definitely like shape whatever decisions you make, and then the pathway that you kind of like create. It sounds like there wasn't things kind of like laid out. It wasn't no. You go to school, and then at school you have a drama teacher and they're inspiring and they're saying like, you should apply to this. And then like quite often, like sadly, I think it's like in this world, it's quite often that is the case. And it is like, it's quite a straightforward route, so to speak. And I think we spoke about it with Jack Rook a little bit as well, about how he's kind of campaigning to try and make it that more people from state schools are able to get opportunities to kind of pursue the creative arts, because famously no money in it at the start, which puts people off.
He talks about his writing community and how they were all just, they didn't have to they weren't stressed about not getting the big money jobs, because they live in a house that's paid by their parents already, and they just enjoy writing because it's cool and creative.
That gives you real space to be able to do it.
Whereas he doesn't have that, so he was like really campaigning for like the pay structure being proper and all that kind of stuff, and
it gives people the opportunity to then like discover what it is. Like you said, you mentioned you got there a bit later in life, and then at that point, then when you've rented that room, you've sort of like taken that first step of being like, all right, I'll put some. I'm assuming you have to like put a bit of money down to rent the room. Well, whatever,
because I think at that time, I think it was only there for like 4 weeks, because by the end of that first month, it was already like, okay, they were selling out quickly every single week, and it was growing quite fast, word of mouth. Again, I moved from one room to another, but I'd say in the beginning, maybe the workshops were like 15 people. So after a month I moved to Theatre Delhi. So yes, it was scary, because I was working in a pizza restaurant at that time called 400 Rabbits.
Oh yeah, I know
still
it.
go there now.
I know
it's
it.
really great.
There's one near me.
Where do you live?
I'm near Crystal Palace.
Oh yeah, I used to work in the one in Crystal Palace. Yeah. So I would have been there. And that was great, because it had all actors that worked there at that time. The manager was an actor, and then they were hiring all actors. So it was scary, because I suppose I had to put some money up for at least just those 4 weeks. It wasn't a lot, but in my circumstance then, it definitely
even fronting the
like
deposit, not knowing you're going to get that money back is a risk.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, definitely that was scary.
Yeah. And then in the kind of prep for this, I was looking through the website and stuff. So obviously like things have now grown, and you have like your own permanent space. Yeah. Which is like a bit of a hub for, like you said, it's now grown a bit beyond just acting workshops, right?
Yeah, so my this is my second space. I had my own sort of like self-contained studio before, like 10 minutes down the road in Kennington. I was there for 4 years. That was after COVID. It just felt like I I was done with trying to jump through the loopholes of what people were saying you could do in terms of gathering people after the pandemic.
Yeah, I bet that was a nightmare.
That was a nightmare, but actually in that time, that was a real year of growth. I met Kate in 2020. I was hiring basketball courts.
Kate's your agent, right?
Kate's the owner of the agency I'm signed to. I'm with Molly Cowan, but Kate is just like a great friend and like mentor, if you will.
Yeah.
Who's that?
That's,
Me? You?
That's,
Doesn't matter.
Me.
Is it?
Virgin Media.
But yeah, I was hiring basketball courts so we could have enough people in a space where there was enough airflow to like legally still gather people. Then we moved to this space about a year ago, and I suppose the vibe now is just sort of like doubling down on the kind of community aspect of it. Now I think there's like a real wide creative community. So outside of the workshops, it's a coffee shop 7 days a week. And then we're doing like a wide array of like small scale creative events. We had like a listening party last night. We have poetry tonight. We do a run in collaboration with On, a talk series with Red Bull. There's like Pilates. There's vintage clothes pop-ups. During the week, there's its own sort of like program. But all of those things are curated. And fortunately, they're all sort of led by someone that's kind of like really close to me or already connected to the sort of like more central community.
Yeah, that's what led us back to each other again. I remember Kate Buckley, who owns 42.
Shout out Kate. She's an absolute legend.
Everyone at BTL is very aware of it. She comes
Everyone
in
knows
here.
Kate.
Yeah.
She's like, just brings a smile to people's faces.
She has an aura.
She's a light in the world.
Somehow brings a smile to everyone's face through complaining about not wanting to go to the gym.
Basically, yeah. I've known Kate since I was about 12 years old.
Yeah.
So she's my best friend's agent as well. Yeah. But Kate introduced me to you, Jaz, about a year ago. We had a few conversations, and then we actually, around you doing all of your new community stuff, and opening, we had a GoHub BTL event here last week. Yeah. The most people we've ever had in our gym. Dave wasn't here. It was a lot. We're not used to it. This is a very
beautiful people.
Energetic. I was telling everyone, like, we've done events and we've had lots of people in their place before. We've had like 200 people for our opening party. We've done producers mixers where we bring in a bunch of movie producers and have a drink, but not in the gym. So like, and those guys, like, kicking them out is always the issue. Whereas your guys, the GoHub community, they like, I looked at my clock, it was 2:30, everyone had left. Yeah. Everyone knew, like, they were like all tidied up.
Respectful.
So respectful. Yeah. And we had a great laugh training. And we did
that was one of my favourite things I've done.
Thank you, it was fun. I mean, you pulled together a great group of people. And our aim was just to show them what we do in the sense of trying to help performers perform, and people that maybe love training and love moving, how to just structure it in a way that makes sense for them and doesn't take up too much of their time, and they aren't kind of reading into bullshit on Instagram or whatever and people telling you how you're supposed to do something. It's like having ownership of the way you do something yourself and giving a basic structure to it. And then, so that was my side of it. So we had half the people in the gym, and then Georgia took everyone for a breathwork kind of mind-body connection. She's the best Pilates instructor in London. I'll say it to everyone. She's so good at what she does.
Yeah, I learned a lot on that day actually as well. I'm training. I have an active relationship with training, but I thought you broke down things in a way that, like, I left with something being like, oh, actually, I'm gonna break up my week in that way as well. So I think everyone found it super helpful.
I hope so. And like, I mean, you see Jaz in the gym, he's very strong. He was quite competitive with his mates. Like, it was great. And that's like, there are a lot of people like you that love it. But actually, similarly with like a diet, like, there's so many little changes you can make that make your life so much easier and you get the same results. And it's that thing for people that really love it that we bring, and it's the vice versa, people that hate it, just teaching them a way of doing it that they don't hate that much or as much. And it's like, that's where our expertise and our years of doing this with all different personalities comes into play, because we're like, oh, you love it, I'm going to make it easier for you so you can actually get more out of it. Or you hate it, let me show you how to do it so you don't hate it as much.
Yeah, for sure.
It's quite a funny thing with exercise, I think. It's like people, either they just do stuff that they've learned maybe at school or when they were growing up as a teenager, and then it's trying to like make it so it's something that actually fits in with their life, like you were just saying. Or you get people that have come to it a bit later and it's learnt from Instagram and places where it's like you're just being shown things by people who's like, that is all they do. And then we deal with a lot of people who have to fit the health and training and all that kind of stuff and slot it in around all their other stuff that's going on, which definitely sounds the case for you.
Yeah, for sure. I think people are quite shy as well to sort of like be an amateur, be a student.
Yeah. It's an intimidating space, isn't it? Like people, I don't know why, but everyone just, because I think there's those people that are on a pedestal of like looking a certain way or being like able to do a certain thing, and then all of a sudden everybody just goes like, oh, I don't even want to step into the room.
I think gyms are quite supportive places though. Like you could see a guy who's an absolute beast or a woman who's an absolute beast, and like it looks intimidating, but they'll probably be the first person to come and sort of help you and start your journey. I think there's a real wonderful community in good gyms.
Yeah, and that also comes from a confidence of the person walking into it, because you can walk into that same gym and instantly not appreciate or get the benefit of all those people in there if you're scared of entering
100%,
and that's like another thing. We built this gym to be a safe space in order to allow people to walk into other gyms and feel safe and comfortable. So they go on set, or they're filming in Gran Canaria and they've got to go down to the shitty gym around the corner or the hotel gym, and they don't want to feel like they're super like
new,
that everyone's going to look at them, or they don't know what to do. So it's like we teach them ways of just communicating with the gym in essence. So that's why we built this place, really.
That's important.
There's like a natural overlap between what we do and what you do in that sense. And when I was looking on your website, you've got the community, not competition, is like a whole section.
That's the kind of thing.
Which is obviously like quite a big part of your ethos and the messaging that you have.
Yeah.
Is like, have you found then over the years that, like, I guess naturally, if you're auditioning for things, it is, and you can't avoid it being a bit competitive, but it's like a mindset thing of everybody's supporting each other and helping, and you get the best out of people from having that
100%. I think mindset is just kind of that's a life thing. I think that's going to really determine and dictate your experience of life. But I think in this industry especially, a lot of my best friends are also actors. If we all, again, a lot of the time we're going to audition for the same thing. If I get it, you get it, we're going to celebrate each other. Like as long as it's one of us, that's a real win for kind of like what we're doing collectively on this journey of life. We're journeying alongside each other. So I think there's a healthy competition. Is if I see my friend work, like Samuel Adewumi, yesterday we was doing a workshop. He's fantastic. If I see that, I do feel competitive around it, but only in a way that makes me want to be the best version of myself. I don't think that ever needs to be hoping someone else is doing less than I am. So
it's like if everyone's collectively learning from those around them, and then the standard
of, for sure, that was the first
starts
thing.
to rise.
100%. Yeah.
I think that is something like it's really easy to forget, isn't it? That when you see someone like you've just been on stage at the Old Vic, it's like you might see that moment and be like, wow, that's amazing. So you're up there with Aaron Pierre in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It's like seeing that and like coming along and seeing those shows is like a snapshot, but the effort and the work that builds up to those moments is like such another story, isn't it? Which is so important for people to know and to kind of acknowledge as they're going through it.
100%. And I think because there can be such like it can feel like a job is so hard to come by, or there's a lack of opportunity. We sort of prioritize these things in a way that like maybe mean that we start to feel like they're going to have a bigger impact on our lives than they actually do. But like acting jobs are really amazing. Acting is amazing, but it's a job. Yeah. So if I center my whole life around the job I'm on or the job I want, and I'm expecting that to sort of bring me happiness, I think that's a really naive way, a short-sighted way to kind of like approach life. I think my ultimate goal is to be a joyful person. So then the life I build around that is how I'm living my life, and then everything in terms of opportunity and career on top of that just feels like a bit of a byproduct of the person I am trying to become. Yeah, that's what I would like to encourage. And I think at GoHub there's a real focus on like personal individual improvement that lends itself to professional and artistic improvement.
It's the comparison, my brain the whole time you were saying that is, you talk about careers the way we talk about the human body and physique, because it's not about reaching a specific physique. Of course. Like, yes, you have these goals in your life, but it's the consistency of the journey and being joyful through the journey of training. Your training versus our training, same thing. You're thinking, the kind of negative side of how people could think in your world is, oh, I didn't get that job, or I really want to get the Oscar, or I really want to get the Broadway lead. And ours, it's, oh, I really want to get the six pack, I really want to get the pecs, I really want to bench whatever. when actually it's the consistency of the journey and pushing yourself each time you do it.
For sure.
And staying safe and being kind of mentally sound through the journey. Like, that's so much more important, and that will leave you as a content person rather than striving for happiness. You strive for contentment in life, and that's fine.
And I think that sets you up for longevity as well.
Yeah.
Because if you're approaching it any other way, just on a mental level, or if we're looking at it from training, you're just going to burn yourself out 100%. So much. You're going to hate this thing. I think like we want to be able to set ourselves up that like I can continue trying to do this thing for as long as I decide to, not where it's just so intense in a way that it makes it unenjoyable. I think GoHub specifically with the workshops, I like to approach it more as sport than like how acting is approached from this kind of like maybe a bit more of an artsy place. And I know in my own journey with the physically working out that it's not really about what my body looks like aesthetically. Even if I feel like I'm in fantastic shape, if I'm not training consistently, I don't feel the same level of pride or joy in my body. I love knowing I've gone to the gym and I have a disciplined routine. I think that is what makes me feel better than any sort of aesthetic shift I'm looking for.
Do you find that outlook in general then shifts well, or like carries you through well for when you are in a run on stage then? So like it's gonna be quite, we've spoken with a lot of actors on here that have done like shows and quite like big shows, lots of publicity, and there's, you know, that each night there's people coming in and there's pressure around like trying to give the best performance even if something else in your day has kind of gone a bit awry maybe. Do you find that outlook really helps in that environment when you're kind of going through that?
For sure, I would say that outlook would be helpful in any environment. But what was really special about that play is that's definitely how I'm approaching it. But Clint as a director was like, in terms of mindset and just trust, was fantastic. But then Aaron Pierre, genuinely for me, is the hardest working actor I've ever come across. Yeah. I think he's an absolute beast, and like everything you could hope for in a sort of leading man to be like. So I think because he set the tone with how he's showing up, also very disciplined with his training, boxing, Muay Thai, gym, he approaches it like that every single day. So his conviction and intensity is at 100% every single day. It sets the tone. You know, if he's showing up like that, it's a really wonderful way to be like, okay, well, we're all going to have to kind of like do the same thing because 100%. That is the vibe. Unfortunately, I made a lot of new friends on that job, but I thought what was really beautiful about it, it was a room full of very confident people that all really felt themselves, but were like engaged and passionate about being the best version of themselves every night. And that didn't mean it was very serious or very actory. Actually, often it meant that we were having so much fun, we were probably trying to like fuck each other up on stage more.
That's the bit I find like so interesting that people talk about. It's like once the show's up and running and people have their like bits and there's like a flow to it, it's then there's like games that are hidden from the audience where you guys are trying to like stitch each other up as it's going on.
And this show is like, I don't know if you guys saw it, but there's a lot of people on stage at all times. There's so much opportunity. Clint would come, fantastic director. I'm really inspired by him, but he I think had a challenge to sort of like make sure that we weren't improvising too much, because there was such joy, such freedom, and such true and wonderful relationships between us that a lot of stuff was happening every single night that was never going to be in the play. Like so that was really, really enjoyable. But I think that was a testament to the individual confidence of every single person in that cast.
I guess you have to like trust your own ability if you're going to put something out there to...
And if there's like 10 uber confident people, it's like the perfect situation. But if one of you was that way inclined and the rest weren't, it would have caused a disaster.
Or even if there's one that's feeling like, oh no, guys, stop messing around.
That messes
up everything. Everyone was so open,
that's a fun
so willing, and so confident in their own ability. I'm still blown away by that experience.
Did you find then, you sort of mentioned it with Aaron, during that run when the show was on, were you able to make space for getting into the gym and keeping that routine? Because often like it's a big shift, isn't it? Like day to day, people tend to kind of load their days a bit more in the morning, and then in the evening things start to wind down, whereas it's almost like complete flip when you're in a play, because you get there at like 5, then it builds up 6, 7, you're there till
it's
10.
a long day, 100%.
Like, do you try and factor in moments where you can go and train or go for a walk or something like that from like a mental headspace point of view?
So I think doing the play in the rehearsal process, I put on a lot of weight. because I was just eating Chinese every day for lunch and
Can't train, you got no time.
You can train, but if I've already done 8-9 hours to then go and train in the evening, I have a daughter, I've got other responsibilities.
Yeah. I mean, like you said before, it's like GoHub is a big responsibility on its own.
And I was away from GoHub for 4 months straight. I didn't go to the space once for 4 months. So that was already mentally challenging, obviously. But yeah, training in rehearsal was difficult. I have a big running practice as well. At that time, I was always running a minimum of 30k a week. That all went out of the window doing rehearsal. So like that 8 weeks was a dud. And then as we got into the run, as we started to get our days back, then I would start to try and hit the gym in the morning before the play. But again, you're not wanting to do too much. It's
a fine line, isn't it? Yeah. You got to kind of find the balance of what's helpful against what's actually going to be detrimental. That
felt more like sustaining, not trying to train for growth, which I don't necessarily enjoy it as much, but it was what was necessary.
I think we find that a bit of a challenge sometimes is because people naturally go in and they want to push themselves and they want to feel that level of like tiredness and fatigue and sometimes it's like that's fine if you then have the time to recover because you don't really think about it too much, but then if you're then going on stage which is a physical undertaking in itself over the course of 2 months, it's like that really can like grind people down.
100%.
And we've seen it before, and it's like trying to change people's mindset about why you're going to a gym and what you're trying to get out of it when you go there. Like it's good that you've been able to go in and acknowledge that and feel it, probably through experience as
well, kind of. It wasn't easy there. I didn't enjoy that, and naturally, if I'm not training, as I said before, I'm not feeling necessarily at my best because it's the routine that I'm missing. But you know what your body needs, you know what you have capacity for in any moment, so you just kind of have to adjust. Maybe now on reflection, I can see that was helpful, but in the moment, that was definitely like I didn't feel as clear or at ease with it as maybe I'm articulating now, for sure.
How do you find then like that finishing that kind of job and then coming back into GoHub? Is it?
I was ready.
Yeah. Is that like that gets you excited to come straight back to it?
I'm equally as excited about whatever I'm doing. I think it's been fantastic. I think I've been back for like 6 weeks. It's been like the best 6 weeks of in the history of it, what it feels like for me. But it's my baby, and that's my passion in a different kind of way. And I'm always in and around the work, and I really enjoy talking to George about doing an event or doing all of the other stuff around it. All of these things really fuel me and make me feel fulfilled artistically and creatively in a similar way to doing the play.
Yeah. There's plenty more space for GoHub BTL.
100%. We got. But I mean, I think me and Dave can mimic that with this place. It's like we've built a place as well that is a very similar thing. You want to be there. It's our baby.
Yeah.
Our work is training people.
Yeah.
But the space has become its whole separate thing, and the people around it, and how we communicate with, and like having the conversations like with yourself about doing stuff that kind of build it up is what. It brings you kind of life, and that's why we do it, I guess.
Of course. How do you guys feel when you're away from it?
You just kind of think about it a lot, isn't it? It's like present in your mind. There's all the various different types of pressures that you face with it. Like it's a big space, so it's like roughly 7,000 square feet. And there's all the little bits day to day that just are just happening. Like the boring conversation that George and I were having earlier about how do we fit the drainage pump to the ice machine. So there's like stuff like that that's just going on in the background, where at the same time you're thinking like, right, we've got this job coming up, and it's like, right, we need to prepare this person for this thing, which I think almost those things happen not autonomously because we've been doing it for a long time. When you're with the person and you're in the gym, it's like that moment is the easier bit.
For sure.
Kind of same thing that you're saying.
Just pull on all the experience that you've had over the years. Like you've got plenty of it. Like now the film jobs that we do are like second nature. It's like I know what you need to do. It's exciting because it's what we love doing, but you receive a new person, you see the script, you see what they need to turn into, and you work on the personality in front of you, because that's always the big challenge. Everyone's different. And then that is what really kind of it gets us going, but it's also like that's now our bread and butter, whereas this is a whole new game. One thing I wanted to talk about was that your workshops are kind of renowned as pretty intense situations. from the actors that I've worked with that have gone through GoHub, like Josh, our trainer, comes to GoHub as well. We've worked with a few guys. I've known a few guys for years that use GoHub. But apparently, and especially when you're there, I've heard it's intense. What is a session at GoHub? Like your standard, what you used to do, what you've made your name doing, the workshops.
Yeah, the scene. It started with the scene study. Now there's 6 different ones a week. But the Wednesday and the Saturdays are the ones that I still facilitate and love facilitating. That would be 3.5 hours, maybe 25 actors. It would start with like a circle exercise where 2 people join the center at one time and then just say something they're grateful for. And then yesterday, the second question will always rotate, but then it would be like, how are you actively building confidence in your life right now? But you answer that in quite an intimate conversation. 2 of you in a circle, 25 people around you. That's the warm-up. Mm-hmm. Nothing intense about that.
Sounds pretty intense to me. But
it can be. I think it requires a vulnerability and an openness that if that feels uncomfortable, then that's going to feel intense.
Yeah.
Then we'll chat about the play for a bit, and then we'll get into it. But I suppose what is different about this, and what I hated about training after Identity, which prompted me to start this, instead of sort of everyone watching the scenes and then we sort of just all generically clap after it and like just have a go to do a bit of acting, if it's not working at any point, then we stop it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We stop it and we talk about it. So then I think that can feel intense because it's exposing.
And can anyone stop it?
No. In the beginning.
Yeah, I was about to say.
In the beginning, I used to have it, but I suppose that was where I was still building confidence.
Yeah, of course.
Because again, it's always been a space where I can be working with someone who's got 10 years more of experience than me, but they're trusting me to still hold space and facilitate for them. In the beginning, it felt easier to allow everyone to have a bit more of a voice so I could sort of grow into the role that I suppose I've always had. Now I'm the only person that will stop it, but everyone is able to speak and contribute in what they think's working, what's not working.
So once that's at the point when something gets stopped, it's like, right, so why you break it down as like, why is that not working? But that sounds simple for me, maybe anyone that's not in the acting space, but in an acting space that is like maybe not the norm. The norm would be have a go, get through the whole thing, we'd all watch it for 10 minutes and then maybe you'll get some notes after. But for me, that's too late. It seems. But it sounds like those types of environments do result in people learning more, because it's like you're also not just repeating things that aren't working, and then you understand. If you learn a 5-page script, everyone wants to get to the end of the 5 pages. But if page 1's not working, I don't care what happens on page 5. I'm interested in sort of perfecting page 1, and then we sort of build it brick by brick with you 2 in the space now, and then collectively for whoever goes next. But I think it is challenging because it's very confronting, and I suppose it is. If you stood up right now and there was 20 of us in this room and we're all telling you about this thing you love and you're passionate about that's not working, just to hear all of those different voices, what can feel like criticism from people is just a difficult thing to be able to manage. So I think on an ego level, it's a great space to sort of work at your own ego, including myself. It's 100%. Level. I start the workshop every week saying there's no voice more important and no one's voice in this room is any more important than anyone else's, including my own. Yeah. So everyone
you're just bringing
can
the
speak.
Structure.
If you think I'm wrong, say I'm chatting shit, and it's open.
Yeah, and it's sort of, like you say, it's changing your mindset that the validation should come from the criticism on the work rather than coming from just praise.
Yeah.
Like the validation in the gym comes from failing, comes from being like, shit, like I couldn't bench that, or I couldn't go for another round of that, and then going next time and going again and improving on it because of technique, because of whatever. I use the gym as an analogy in the sessions a lot, because I'm like, just coming to the workshop alone is just one thing, but you can go to the gym, you can just look at the weights and you still say, I've gone to the gym. But it's about what you do when you're there. It's like you wanna push, you want it to be hard. That's a successful time in the gym. So I think if you approach acting or whatever you do in the same way, where your willingness and openness to do uncomfortable things and trusting that is going to allow you to grow, if you can make that shift, I think everything becomes a little bit more fun. You can be engaged in it in a way where you're not like, it's not going my way.
Yeah. just listening to you talk about that kind of stuff and that mentality, I think feeds quite well into our section called Humbled in Hollywood, which is where, like, often from the outside is like, if you've only seen you and watched your work from that moment on stage, it's like, wow, that's amazing. You're on stage at the Old Vic, which is kind of like such a big deal in itself. But you maybe don't see all those other elements of your life and the work that's gone in and the moments that didn't go right. And it's just a section where we ask our guests to share a story which may have been like a humbling or a moment where you've just kind of been like, all right, that didn't go to plan.
I've got loads of fucking embarrassing stories. I've failed bare times at everything. But there was one, it's like origin stuff. Why I wanted GoHub to be in Brixton was because I used to play basketball. I played basketball growing up my whole life. I played for Brixton Top Cats, and like that coach, Jimmy Rogers, he's passed away now, but he was like a father figure to me and a lot of my best friends. He was known for being the most hardcore coach in London basketball. Like NBA players had come from there, but it was a confronting environment for certain. You had to sign up and actively choose that I'm gonna trust that this guy's got my best interest at heart. The sessions were tough. So he used to make us do this thing. There's it's not a game, it's like an exercise in basketball called 51. Normally what you do, that just means that in your team, which might be like 10 people in training, maybe more, you just throw the basketball off the back of the backboard, the person behind you catches it, and you just do that 51 times. We used to train in a school called Norwood Girls' School, and he made us do this exercise, but you throw it off the backboard, you run out of the gym, run all the way around the school, and do it.
And you gotta be back in time.
Anytime the ball drops, if it hits the floor, so if you're not working together, being that tired, if the ball drops, you start again.
You'd be turning up to that session hoping there's a lot of people in that queue. Otherwise, you're just running.
We used to lap the court, not the school. That's tough.
We used to lap the school, and the Tuesday session was known that like that was the session you would avoid, because that was one, it was more of an invite only thing, but that was the day where it's like, we're gonna work harder than any day. We must have done this for like, I don't even know. It went on so long that I couldn't hack it. I ran out of the gym after doing it and then hid. Like, I cried. I felt like I was literally hiding.
So you threw it off the backboard, someone behind you, you ran out as if you were going to run round and just went into a bush.
And I was hiding like on a roof somewhere, and I was crying. I must have been like 17. But I was pushed to my absolute limit that I ran away, hid and cried, and didn't come back to that session until the following week.
What did he say when you turned up the next week?
In that sort of situation, it would have just been that it wouldn't be what he said. It would just be, I know you left. So just the disappointment, the failure of that, and I'm crying was just like, nothing wrong with crying, but it was just like, I was pushed to my limit and I lost. And I lost with all of my best friends. You sort of let your team down as well. That, even now when I'm thinking about that is the opposite of the mindset that I would hope to have navigating the rest of my life. But that was me at my max.
As a physical and a mental humbling.
Massively. Every week though. Every week.
But then you came back. You came back to it and you were like, right.
I probably, maybe I didn't come back the next week. maybe I had a 2 or 3 week break, but that was definitely a moment where I had to reevaluate, like, am I cut out for this? So yeah, that comes to mind quickly with sports. In acting, auditions and stuff, like, obviously, so much shit. Like, just every day is a humbling experience.
I feel like you can't avoid it in auditions and all the rest of it.
No, for sure.
It's part of it.
But you can learn to love that though. That it's not super personal, and I think you can be proud of what you do and it not go your way, and trust that at some point that ends up somewhere.
And being honest and open and sharing those experiences with other actors will only bring you closer together.
Yeah, for sure.
Like if you hide all the embarrassing things and don't mention them to your friends and build them up in your own head, like the fact you can share that with a community of people that are going to big you up is
definitely huge. But going back to the workshops as well, people do say it's intense, but I suppose the relationships formed from that 100%. For that reason are expedited, because any people that are signing up every single week to be humbled, maybe fail, maybe fall flat, maybe be pushed to their limit, and then keep showing up. We're sort of bonded together by just at least being cut from the same cloth. That does bond you in a way like we were in a traumatic experience together, because we're going
like
through something hard together.
And it shows that like that those things happen, and in that environment you are experiencing those kinds of emotions. But like we talked about earlier, it is that community element of it, and that it is a very supportive community of people, all trying to improve and all trying to get better, and that is often too rare a thing, and it's something 100%. That's not kind of out there for people to make use of. At the end of the podcast, we always chat about like what's coming up. I imagine there's quite a few things coming up for you, it seems.
I'm auditioning a lot. I don't have another job as of right now. With GoHub and just the stuff I'm doing around that, we're doing an exhibition. I've done one before, which is just like a kind of a showcase, but I don't want to call it a showcase because I don't like the word. So I say exhibition. This one's going to be 5 new plays, it's new writing, and I'm doing that in collaboration with Murky Books. There'll be some other partners, but that would be really exciting because that would be a nice, beautiful mix of very established, sexy actors in work, not aesthetic, and some newer talent that like are also amazing, incredible. And
has that got like a date or anything yet?
That's going to be at late October.
And how do they work? Are they like table reads?
No, we're going to do a new. No, this would be a full performance. The last one we did at Soho Theatre. We did.
Great.
Yeah, like this.
I thought it was more like an exhibition of like a GoHub workshop. No. This is production. You're doing plays.
There'll be an after party, and there'll be a whole thing. So I'm really excited about that collaboration. We've got a summer party and brunch on Sunday. Starting a new kind of co-writing workspace at GoHub on 2 Tuesdays a month, first and last Tuesday. That's with a company called Second Brain. That's going to be free dramaturgy and writing workshops that just exist in the coffee shop every Tuesday, every other Tuesday from 1 till 5 p.m. Runs, workouts, another before the light stuff.
It's a real like.
It's the year of collaboration for me.
100%.
That's kind of where I'm at. Yeah,
of
for
everything.
sure.
So many things going on. It's amazing. And like anyone that's not maybe seen GoHub or any of that stuff before, where do they find it and how do they get involved in it?
So the space, all the creative events and all of that good stuff, that's just on Instagram, gohubstudio.com. Again, it's not a space for hire, it's all curated. And then GoHub Workshop is the Instagram for the acting related stuff. gohubworkshop.com is how you book to come along.
And where is the coffee shop? What road are we on?
222 Brixton Road.
222 Brixton Road.
Yeah, 222 Brixton Road. Great space, speciality coffee, Colombian and Brazilian blend.
How is your latte art personally?
I actually don't even know how to turn the coffee machine on. But we have great baristas. Shout out Bonnie, Yelena, Harriet, Cass. They are a great team and all actors.
There's a workshop. There's a latte art workshop.
We'll
I'm sure. I would love to be able to do that.
Honestly, I think 50% of our actors that come here would like to come and learn how to make good coffee.
I would love to learn how to make. I love coffee shops. I always wanted one for that reason, but I'm just shit. I can't even cook. So
you've got plenty of other skills. You've got plenty of other skills.
You got enough on your plate. You don't need to be in the kitchen.
Yeah, 2026.
That could be it. We'll check in next year.
Just make us an omelette.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on and doing this.
Thank you, Jaz.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you guys.